Greetings and welcome, my friends, to another Empire Total War Darth Mod Nations Guide. Today, my friends, we focus upon Spain, a true superpower in this time, my friends. It really was an absolute behemoth. It controlled huge swathes of the world, particularly the New World, and especially with its sort of proxy New Spain, which controlled South America, and with that, huge natural resources and a vast network, my friends, able to bring in massive amounts of money for Spain. So we focus on some of the smaller nations. I thought today that we would look at the campaign in terms of one of the real giants, one of the real superpowers. And when I say it's a superpower, this is not an understatement. Spain at this time was pretty significant within the sort of geopolitical situation. Along with France and Britain, it really was up there as the sort of the super three, I would call it. Of course, you've got Russia as well there, Ottomans, but Russia and Ottomans didn't really sort of, in terms of land, they've got that sort of huge land mass, but in terms of the depth of both economic and military, they don't really have that depth that these other nations do, particularly Spain. So what we're going to look at today is what you get in terms of the starting regions you have. We're going to look at the potential for expansion. We're going to be looking at the military aspect as well, the economic aspect. We're going to have a general look, see, at what you start with and where you potentially expand to, which regions you'll be looking at, where your greatest threats come from as well, and also your closest allies. So let's begin. The absolute beating heart of the Spanish Empire here is right here in Madrid, Spain, my friends, and it is a fantastic region to start with within this campaign. You start with a huge land mass here within Spain, bordering your great ally France. This really does serve you absolutely fantastically well to have such another superpower as your ally. It is a wonderful thing to have so close to you as well. But let's have a look what you start with here in Madrid. Again, you are already getting 1,233 income, per year. So every year you're getting 1,200 just from Madrid. So you can imagine the wealth. A lot of regions, a lot of nations at this time would absolutely give anything to have this sort of starting power in terms of economic power. Exceptionally well garrisoned. You've got a lot coming in from agriculture, a lot of mining, a lot of industry. You've got town wealth is pretty huge as well. The port, again, a great deal of income came from, of course, New Spain, which is your sort of proxy in the Americas, especially South America. And you also control Gibraltar as well, which sort of puts you in sort of butting heads with the Moroccans here, who really you did have this sort of almost a tense standoff with the Moroccans for Tangier for Morocco, which would have put you in complete control of the Mediterranean Straits here. So Gibraltar is a key hub here for Spain, having not full control, but a good chunk of control of the sort of Mediterranean routes in and out of the Atlantic. That is one of the key hubs here. But again, we're going back to Madrid here, and that's what you start with. You start with a massive amount of potential here. You've already got a school here, you've got a craft workshop, you've already got a church school. Spain, a Catholic nation, sort of deeply religious at this time as well, and I'm not saying that the sort of religion was sort of the undercurrent of most of Spain's sort of activities, as it were, but it definitely is, a real central hub of Spanish society as well in this times as well. I'm not saying that everybody, but we're talking at 1700s. Religion is a huge factor in every nation, in every single nation, whether it be Catholic or not. It is at this time a huge underpin of any nation, and Spain was a huge, deeply Catholic nation. So they do have very good facilities in terms of being able to use their Catholic missionaries to be able to turn and incite unrest in nations that aren't Catholic. So in other words, you would send them off maybe into the Americas there against to cause some trouble with the native Indians there, to start feeding in that sort of that zeal that you would use to sort of undermine the sort of native religions, as it were, there. So you're using your religious fervour, as it were, to be able to sort of undermine your enemies. Again, you want to make use of every single sort of asset you have here, because although Spain starts off in a very strong position, things can quickly snowball out of control if you don't use that strong starting position to, if you just sort of sit back and think, well, I'm Spain, I can do whatever I want, believe me, other powers will soon come in and take over what you have if you are not immediately upon your game, on top of your guard with everything you possibly do here. So Spain again, and of course you've got vineyards, got another craft workshop here, you've got a port here, and Cartagena here. I do apologise immediately for any mispronunciations I make here, of any Spanish pronunciations. My pronunciations of anything is pretty poor anyway. Again, you've got Barcelona here, which is way out here, sort of in the east here, eastern part of Spain here, and then we've got Navarra here, the farmland, which is sort of the Barcelona here is sort of the last sort of bastion here, the Spanish bastion here, before you get into French territory. And of course Bordeaux being quite near here to Barcelona, going across sort of mountain pass here. And it's excellent you do have France quite near, because again France can use its formidable navy. It does have available to it quite a formidable position to be able to build its navy up, so you can at least have sort of France here guarding your border by proxy, as it were, without them even realizing it. At least they're here to sort of fend off any sort of people, that any nations that are looking to sort of turn their eye towards you. And you already start off with a pretty decent navy already, so that's, you know, to have fire, the 277 ship here, firepower, the Santa Damaso here, the Galleon, which is the sort of backbone of the sort of Spanish fleet before sort of the first, you know, heavy rates first came into production. The Galleon really was an exceptional ship for the Spanish. And again, we do have two ports side by side, Cadiz and Sandy Bay here. The potential for producing ships here is immense. So again, you want to get your fleets up as soon as you possibly can, because your naval power is a real crucial part of your empire. It really is. When you're playing Spain, you want to get your fleets up as quickly as possible, because not only have you got to sort of guard your assets here between the Mediterranean and the Atlantic, but you've also got other assets spread around, namely in Brussels here, in Flanders here. You've taken Brussels, and the Dutch, believe me, they will want that back. You do have the French here, who probably would join you in any war against the Dutch here, but again, you're very, very far away from the homeland here, right on the sort of the other end. This is, you know, a good couple of 100 miles away, past Paris into Brussels. So again, you want to make sure that you really get yourself here. Personally, I would put a governor's encampment here, because look at the options you've got. I mean, Irish regiment, even the militia here is fantastic for the Spanish. The Irish regiment here, again, not brilliant in accuracy, but again, I look at recruitment cost. That is huge recruitment cost. Maybe if you can adjust, we will have a look at ministers later, you can adjust the recruitment cost there for the ministers to potentially bring that down. But again, the options you get just from a military encampment are huge with Spain. They really are. Irish Brigade, we've got provincial cavalry, militia, a standard regiment of horse, provincial cavalry here, but I believe the provincial cavalry, yeah, look at that provincial cavalry here. It is absolutely fantastic. The melee attack is much better than standard provincial cavalry. We've got line cavalry here. Look at that. This is what I mean. Spain's units are just fantastic to have. Even the dragoons are better than the standard dragoons. And we've got carbineers here. Good accuracy, you know, good defense, fantastic all-round troops here. So again, and you've also got a spy. The crucial thing for this is to put the spy in a round by the Netherlands. You want to keep an eye on what the Dutch are doing at all times. They're going to be your main foe in this time, because they're going to build up pretty quickly here to try and remove you from Brussels and pretty much unite the Netherlands as a whole. And again, you have a craft workshop here in Luxembourg. You got some farmlands. You got a weaver's cottage and a shipyard here in Antwerp. So again, your naval facilities to be able to build ships is exceptional. And again, it's 2,000, and you only start with 7,000 gold here. But again, it's worth investing in these sort of, if you want to keep these, or you could even trade it off. There's a potentially you could trade it off. You might be able to trade this off with the Netherlands and maybe avoid a costly war from the start. Trade it off for one of the Netherlands things. Remember, they got Ceylon just off India. Maybe they'll trade Brussels for Ceylon, where you can have that sort of area there, a good base of operations, strike into India. We also have, as Spain, you also have here Milan, your Lombardy here, or Lombardy here, and you've also got a pretty decent sort of force here that starts off with, very nice force. And again, you've got a military encampment here, which you can sort of produce units from, or you can go for the town hall, the governor's mansion. Again, you're not going to get those regiments, but again, if you're here, if you're isolated amongst other nations, because remember, they can turn on, just because they're at peace with you doesn't mean they're going to stay at peace with you forever. Then you might want to turn these into a sort of military encampments to be able to bring yourself the option of being able to really build your military presence in these regions to hold them. Because again, you've got, straight away, you've got a craft workshop here. It's going to bring in 900 per turn. It's going to bring 900 to the region wealth, I beg your pardon, plus 8 per turn to town wealth in the region. So again, a really, really nice region here, but far away here. It's stuck between all these other nations. Venice, it's a big jump. Venice, Italy. We've got Genoa, where you've got Savoy here. So again, you're not cut off, but you're isolated in terms of being able to get troops in and out of this region quickly. Because remember, if you don't have sort of military access to any of these other regions, you're not going to be able to send troops into here. That's why I mean, get yourself a military governor's encampment. Then at least as your sort of your research and development increases and you're able to produce more troops from these encampments, then you're able to start defending yourself from these sort of lone positions, as it were, these isolated positions. And again, you might want to bring in sort of maybe a priest or a missionary into here as well, just to build up that sort of religion, because, you know, keeping Catholicism very high in the Spanish regions does help you significantly. It really does, especially when you've got other religions vying for sort of, not power as it were, but vying for attention in these different regions. And again, keep that Catholicism really, really strong here for Spain. It's something that really does underpin their sort of, who they are basically in this time. It's a really important factor there. And we also have here, next to Genoa, who have Corsica here, we have Sardinia here. Well, that's an excellent region. Look at that. Silver minefield. It says low yield, but still, it's bringing in 1,250 to the region's wealth. We've got Sardinia here. We've got the governor's residence, which we can produce here. And even then they get provincial cavalry, militia. What's the militia difference here? Yes, the defence is much better for this sort of Spanish militia, as it were. Much, much better than standard militia. And again, infrastructure is already basic roads. So Spain, because it's wealthy, is already able to, has already got its roads upgraded to a basic standard. Again, roads are crucial to being able to get your campaign and your empire really absolutely bursting with the income that you can. The economy can really flourish if you get the roads and the infrastructure really running nice and smooth here. And again, you've got a vineyard here in Albia, and again that's bringing 375, not a huge amount, but all of a sudden it jumps then to 500 when you can upgrade it there. So that's really, really nice. And again, you can upgrade again the vineyards, probably to near close to 1,000. So you even got Naples. You even have Naples down here in this sort of the boot of Italy, as they call it. And again, you could probably get the governor's residence up, but it's not really vital here that you do that. But look at that, already you can build peasant farms, so you get the farming in the region going. The vineyards here will be exceptional. Masala vineyards, they should be good. Look at that, 525. Yeah, 700. Down here in Italy, the vineyards will be exceptional, and down here as well. Calabara vineyard, what have we got here? Yeah, 525. So again, the vineyards in Italy will be probably the best you'll get. And again, you've got a church school, a Jesuit school here, so good Catholicism, good religion, being able to keep the religion high here. And also, you've got good access sort of between the Mediterranean. The Mediterranean sort of is going to be flowing in the Adriatic, and also you've got into the Black Sea potential here. But the Mediterranean really is open to you here. You've got a good throughput here of trade, and but also on the sort of the downside of that, you can have a lot more movement if possible, enemy movements, enemy ships. But the trade potential here is absolutely massive, especially when these ports in Syracuse here open up, and you'll also get another port. I believe there's another port somewhere around here as well that'll eventually open up, and that will then give you a huge income here from your ports. So within time, these villages will become towns, ports, and you can really start to expand your economic power here, keeping sort of the Ottomans, Russia, Austria, and your nearest neighbours quite happy here by just keeping yourself out of any wars, you know, staying friendly, getting trade, getting proper diplomatic relations with them. That will serve you well in the long run, believe me, my friends. But also you have the fiends, the Barbary states on your doorstep as well. They will absolutely hound you without mercy if you don't bring them to heel pretty quickly. That is one of the sort of the biggest downsides here. Is you basically have a pirate organisation, which is a proxy, which is a protectorate of the Ottomans, who the Ottomans turn a blind eye to effectively, and they just run riot in the Mediterranean. So that's what I mean. Get your fleets up. Use these shipyards you have here in Gibraltar and in Spain, Cadiz and Sandy Bay, and really, really, really put as much money as you can into getting your fleets up here to keep these Barbary states under control. You'll have other nations helping you here, sort of an anti-pirate force. They will eventually get fed up with the Barbary states, and they will sort of put a blockade on their main ports to stop them from being able to sort of run riot here. But expect a lot of problems if you allow them, especially here in Cartagena. They will give you absolute hell. They will blockade your trade routes, and look at the trade you're already getting here, coming through here. If you combine the trade up here, 2612, so you get a lot of trade flowing in and out from France and from the Americas. Look at that coming from the Americas here. Spain 1828, so you've got the best income here from the nations coming off the Americas, off that sort of trade route. So that pretty much gives you a sort of an overall of what you're up against here. England, Britain, as it were, Great Britain, they will leave you alone as long as you leave them alone. But eventually, if the Netherlands starts a war with you, there's a chance that Britain might come into war with you again. And talking of that, let's have a look at diplomatic relations. Let's look at how you stand with others. France, you are allied with France, and you've already got a trade agreement with them. Portugal is unfriendly. Now, we'll talk about a bit more Portugal in a minute, because they are your nearest sort of neighbours, but you know, you've got a very, very sort of dicey relationship with Portugal. But you can see you can already start trading with them. If you start trading with Portugal, that might give you oh my god, look at that, they want a huge chunk of your cash here. No, see, they won't. They want money for that. They want that money to secure this sort of. They want money to be able to build troops and ships as well at your expense, as it were. But look, they're looking for a military alliance. They know you're a threat. So you've got two options when it comes to Portugal. You can either build up a force here in Spain, and you can drive immediately to try and take out Portugal. But be warned, Portugal will potentially have quite a large army, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, no, they don't actually. So if you strike early enough, you could catch Portugal on the hop here and sort of unify the entirety of this region. You would have one sort of coherent region here, bringing pretty much uniting what it is Spain in one go here, bringing Lisbon and Portugal, and all, you know, they've already got a huge amount of income coming in here. What they got coming in here, 1965. So this trade port again would be opened up to you. You would have another school. Let's have a look. Catholicism, so they're 100%. So they're a Catholic nation, so you wouldn't have to worry about the sort of religious context of that as well. And you've also got a craft workshop, which is bringing in what here, 300 per turn, which is not too bad at all. You've got plenty of. You can build a vineyard here. You've got farms here. You've got a port here. You've got a huge city, which is already looking not too bad at all here. Mind you, it's got basic roads already, so that's not bad. Again, that's an option. Maybe you could build up here and strike for Portugal immediately, unifying this whole peninsula, as it were, and bring it under your control. So that's pretty much where you start there, in terms of where you start. Now, hostile with Austria immediately, and that does present a problem, because you can see Austria here in Croatia, you're just a hop and a skip away from the Adriatic, just as the only thing that separates you from Austria. They don't like you at all. Minus 105 could be Britain are unfriendly with you. Hugely potential for a war with Britain. Be very careful. Maratha Confederacy, indifferent. Mughal, Ottomans again. Most people are indifferent. Portugal unfriendly. Prussia's unfriendly. Most of them are unfriendly or indifferent to you. Only France is your only strongest ally here. What it is the power you've got. The power you got is what is the thing that's making these nations very nervous or unfriendly towards you. And again, indifferent. Some of them are friendly. Some of these are closest to you. Morocco is very hostile, minus 105. Again, you have to be careful. They will strike against Gibraltar, so you will have to potentially build troops to sort of garrison Gibraltar very quickly, because again, they will send in their forces pretty quickly to try and take Gibraltar, because as you can see, they're not in the best of financial condition here. Minus their sort of their in their regional wealth is down 3434. So again, you might want to put an army together. Oh my gosh, look at the armies you can recruit straight off the bat. They are so fantastic, but I'll look at those in a minute now, my friends. So again, that sort of gives you the overview. You're sort of in a position where people they sort of shrug your shoulders when they think of Spain. Yep. Or they're unfriendly, moving to hostile, which means you could have potential for a lot of wars. And since your sort of European assets are spread over quite a large distance here, you definitely want to consolidate your homeland as quickly as possible, and maybe potentially strike out against the closest enemies you can potentially could have, especially Morocco. Morocco will be an enemy very quickly against you. So I would possibly move to Gibraltar, move an army to Gibraltar, and secure Morocco as quickly as possible. Secure the Gibraltar Straits. Secure this trade line into here. Now, let's also have a look at our American and Caribbean and other assets we have here in the Americas. A huge part of your nation here. You have Florida here on the west coast here of America, and this really is a huge region for you. It really is the sort of the absolute apogee, as it were, of your American assets here. Florida, you hold this quite important route here in and out of the Caribbean. You've got some decent ships here actually. You've got is that a Galleon here as well? No, they're fifth rate, not bad at all. Sort of just a few miles from the strait here across to Cuba. But again, you've got your missionary here, which is again going to be very useful, especially when you've got the Cherokee Nation very close to you. Very powerful Cherokee Nation. You want to be careful here, because you're at war with them already. So again, straight off the bat, you're going to be under a lot of pressure here. But look at the regiments you can already get. Oh, such a nice, oh my gosh, look at that, and frontiersmen as well. So, what do you start off with? You can build immediately a plantation here, and farms here. And you can also, you can send your missionaries as well to check what is going on here. But with Florida, it is fortified, so that gives you advantage already over the Cherokee. So that means you've got a fortified position. That's going to give you an advantage. And again, I would recruit troops as quickly as possible. We'll have a look at what the armies are a bit later on. You've got Cuba here, which again is going to bring in a huge amount of money for you eventually. It is going to be huge. You've got 1,052 coming off this route, and you've got 446 coming off this route here. So again, yep, there it is. See, New Spain is bringing in so much money for you. It is incredible. But Cuba has a lot of options for expansion. And again, a fortified city. And I don't think it's got basic roads yet, so you can put that in there. And you can make a military governor's camp. Look at that. Look what you... Oh my God, Bennett. I would definitely get a military governor's barracks here for definite. Because there's a big difference between barracks and encampment. Encampment doesn't quite give you the options that these do here. But once you unlock the research development to unlock these troops, you've got a huge potential for troops here, a massive potential. Look at that, Marine Grenadiers. Word, absolutely fantastic. And you've got Colonial Militia, Colonial Infantry, Colonial Line Infantry, Dragoons, 12-pounders. So again, a very nice region here. And off then you've got Hispaniola, Santo Domingo, and again, this one is not a fortified position, but it can still produce some very nice troops. It's got good trade potential. What have we got from here? I don't think we can quite find out what's going in here. No, we can't. I'm not sure. Let's have a look. 76, not huge. But again, you've got good options for development of the land here. Plantations, ports, all feeding into sort of the motherland, as it were, back into Spain. And you also have your sort of protectorate, as it were. Let's have a look at New Spain here, down here. Protectorate of Spain. And this is really where most of your money and most of your sort of wealth comes from, is this. All of South America is pretty much under the control of New Spain, which is your protectorate. So you can see they've got their own independent army, which is keeping most of these actually tied down quite nicely here. You've got Caracas, Panama, Bogota, which is Colombia, Antigua, and the crown jewel here, which is Mexico, New Spain. As you can see, they're not in the best of health here in terms of economy, but hopefully with some pushing and some arm twisting they can be brought up to sort of scratch here, and you can start giving them some technology that you sort of are able to research. You can send it to New Spain to help them sort of make them a much better sort of military and also economic force, which again feeds into your economy, which makes you stronger as well, because this proxy, this protectorate you have here, eventually will, if it manages to hold, will absolutely deliver huge amounts of money. And again, pirates, the absolute bane of this entire region is pirates. So again, you want to get your fleets up as quickly as possible, sending fleets possibly from Spain as well to try and deal with the pirates here, to try and crush them or even put them out of action by sort of blockading their ports, because they really will give you absolute hell. Mind you, you've got the Dutch here, which will probably help you in that, and the British will as well probably strike against the pirates. So again, you've got a huge amount of potential here to be realised if you invest properly and also help your protectorate. Now let's get really down to the nitty gritty here of the military, what you can actually have here in terms of military might. Let's have a look. So straight away you can already produce Irish Regiment, Line Infantry, look at that. The reloading skill is better here from this sort of Spanish Line Infantry instead of the standard infantry. You've got Irish Brigade, which again is a very good brigade. Regiment de Sevilla, which is, oh my gosh, look at that, it's fantastic what you can get. Irish Regiment, I'm drooling here. Regimento de Soria, again a fantastic regiment to be able to have. Big recruitment cost, but still. Regiment of Horse. And that is sort of your standard here from Madrid here. I cannot underscore how brilliant the Spanish military is at every single stage, even from the earliest potential stage, even from the smallest barracks. The military that they can produce is breathtaking, it really is. But as it goes up here, let's have a look at drill school. Drill school opens up Grenadiers, wonderful, absolutely fantastic. Then we have, I'm pretty sure there's another, no, just Grenadiers. Oh, and expatriate infantry, I beg your pardon. And again, these two regiments open up. Then, as things start to increase, as your research technology develops, you then can have military academy, which opens up Colonial Horse Regiment. What else does it open up? General's Bodyguard. Look at the units you get. Swiss Regiment. You've got Colonial Line Infantry. You've got Company Cavalry. You get Presidial Cavalry. Look at that. Look at the charge bonus, 25. You got cuirassiers, which are the heavy cavalry, wonderful to have. My goodness me, look at this. Presidial soldiers, which are basically sort of skirmishers, absolutely fantastic. Colonial infantry, company infantry. Oh, you get frontiersmen, which are fantastic of accuracy. Oh my god, presidial infantry here, sort of the standard infantry, which is basically the melee unit. Kutas lancers, charge bonus is phenomenal. Company of Almocateses Moors, which are basically sort of Moroccans. Absolutely wonderful, look at that. The units you can get are just absolutely incredible. You get African native infantry, and you can get German cuirassiers Royal Regiment. Look at the defence. Absolutely fantastic. Wonderful units. So that's what you get from Military Academy. Then you can get Army Board. This is Swiss Regiment again. Look at that, Louisiana Infantry, which you get from procurement. You've got all sort of the standard infantry you normally got from the previous sort of technology. Colonial Horse Regiment. Oh my gosh, Hunters. Look at the accuracy, 75. Dragoons. All the sort of standard. They got increased here. Oh, Foot Corps Guard. Look at that. Again, these are melee infantry. Absolutely fantastic to have. Guardiastic Corps, so again, really super heavy cavalry effectively. What else have you got here? Let's have a look. General's Bodyguard Grenadiers is sort of the standard, and then my friends, the absolute pinnacle, Army Staff College. Now, once we've got all of these, let's look at everything you can get here when you open them up, all of these. So you get light dragoons, get line cavalry, again, look at that, accuracy 52. Got Portuguese riflemen. Look at that, 72 accuracy. The morale is high, ammunition is high, reloading skill is really good. Wonderful to have that. A Guardias de Infanteria, look at that. They basically the protectors of the royal family. Reloading skill is 55. 50 accuracy. Just super infantry almost. Republican Guard, again. The elite. Regiment of Spanish Hussars. I mean, my God, I'm drooling here. The Spanish troops you get are fantastic. They're the best in the entire campaign of any nation. I kid you not, my friends. So using all of these, look at them. Carbineers, Aragon Volunteers, Swiss Infantry. Look at that. Marine Grenadiers, which are just an expeditionary marine force. Hunters. Anything else we got here that we haven't seen? 1st Catalonia Regiment. The really elite red. I'm not sure what these are. I don't really see. Light skirmishers. Company Cavalry, Grenadiers, Foot Guard, Court Guard, Louisiana Infantry. Line Infantry Regiment de Sorio. So fantastic, absolutely fantastic what you can get here from these. And again, you've got the standards. So again, you're looking to sort of have these going in sort of parallel, so you get engineering school and you're able to get, you know, the 12-24 pounders, get your cannons up, and definitely try and get your navy up and running as well as quickly as possible. So again, you're looking at getting exceptional troops from Spain. Wonderful nation to get. And also a quick look here at where you started with. So you get your income here is 5,018. Starter tax income is 3,402, army income 4,057, trade income of 3,215, which leaves you sort of another's, again 3,242, so you're leaving a surplus of nearly 10,000 here as your sort of as your income, total income, and nearly 5,000 is your outgoing, so that gives you that, then half of it is sort of going into profit. Again, your allies are Bavaria and France at war with Plains Nation, Cherokees, Barbary States and Pirates. Trade partners Spain, France and Genoa, and protectors as New Spain. Ministers, again not the best head there, so we could possibly, it's an absolute monarchy, so you can probably trade people in and out here, because you're a monarchy. The king just says you will move, and you can move, it's in and out of here. It's not a democracy. The king rules. So again, look at the ministers you've got here. You can probably move this gentleman to here. And again, look at that, +4 diplomatic relations, +1 to town wealth. You've got a good treasury minister, not the best justice minister, so again you probably want to move somebody else in that probably is good with management here. Stall holder, no. Morally impaired, no. Again, not the best, so possibly have to leave him as he is, but look at the army, magnificent army there, minister, and again for navy and for the Americas as well, so pretty good really. But again, you want to try and move these around as you see fit, but I would say treasury and justice, and these three are probably the most important to get right, because these are already good. These three here, the most important, are already very, very good ministers. These, or this one and this one, will definitely be changing eventually to better. Treasury is okay there for the moment. And again, trade, you've got trade with France, Spain, Genoa. France is your biggest trade asset here, sugar, tobacco, and other goods as well. And these are overland, so it's going from Spain through here, past Barcelona up into Paris, and you're so lucky you're going overland here, so you're not going to be cut off from France. But New Spain and Genoa, they could be cut off. You start with 7,000 gold, not a massive amount to start with, especially considering the size of the nation. But again, if you do this right, you can use your money wisely. You will pay dividends in the end, my friends. Invest it in either your army to strike quickly against your nearest sort of foes at home, or in sort of invest it in terms of building up your infrastructure as well if you can. So maybe put 50% towards infrastructure, 50% toward military, or you can go full infrastructure or full military, or maybe just a little bit of both. You never know. But you got to see how you want to approach it. Do you want to go for sort of the aggressive militaristic approach, or do you want to go for sort of the more subtle diplomatic, building your nation up from the inside and reinvesting your profits and your income back into your infrastructure, back into your nation, so that eventually, as it grows, the more money you get, you're able then to build your army and navies faster. Remember, your navy is crucial in this campaign. It really, really is. But anyway, friends, that is a brief overview of where sort of Spain stands in sort of the global ethos, as it were, of this entire campaign. But my friends, as always, please get your comments down how if you've played Spain, please let me know how you've played Spain. Please let me know, how you went about playing Spain, what you did, what you didn't do, who you attacked, who you didn't attack. Get it down there so that if anybody sort of watches the video and reads the comments, we can put together a real nice sort of compilation of sort of hints and tips and helps for people playing the campaign, because it's a wonderful campaign, the Spanish campaign. I will be doing a Spanish campaign, but not quite yet, but I will be doing one in the future because I'm looking forward to it. The military is just absolutely jaw-dropping for Spain. It really is fantastic. So please let me know. Next campaign you'll be seeing will be a Russia campaign, but I just wanted to put out another nations guide because I haven't done one for quite a while. I hope you're having a great week, my friends. Hope you've had a great week. I hope you have a great weekend. Please be safe whatever you're doing, and until next time, my friends, bye for now.